I don't know what to say, but I will say that I am probably the president's #1 fan. And that's not going to change. And the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. And it's going to motivate all of us to support him more. We're not going to let them get away with bullying him and, you know, the smear campaigns. It's not going to work, okay? He has a lot of force behind him, and God is protecting him. Amen.
Did you know that most Americans want voter ID? So why is the Democrat leadership so hell-bent on stopping it? We'll look into that and we'll find out why. So stick around here on Freedom Talk.
Turn it up loud. This is Freedom Talk.
Yes, welcome back to Freedom Talk. I'm your Freedom Talker, Steve. I can't do this alone. I need your help. This is a brand new channel. If you can give me a like, share, and subscribe, then that'd be great. Leave a comment at the end if you have any suggestions or anything. I need to know your feedback because your opinion matters. Thank you much, and let's get into this. Yes, if you notice in the media, there's a lot of talk about voter ID and votes, and the FBI went into Fulton County last week and to secure some ballots and to find out what's going on over there. So there's a lot of things going on right now. This is election year, and we want to make sure that we have clean elections. So with more on that, the people of the United States, most of us want voter ID. And why is that a bad thing? If most people want it, and why is the Democrats so opposed against it?
Voter ID. The Senate saying they may press forward and try to push this act forward that's passed the House. Take a listen to the polling on voter ID.
Normally, you might expect, hey, there'd be a big divide by party with Republicans really for it and Democrats really against it. But not really here. I mean, just take a look here. Favorite photo ID to vote. You got 95% of Republicans, pretty much all of them, but even 71% of Democrats favor photo ID to vote. It's not really all that controversial. The American people are with Nicki Minaj, whether they are Republican or even if they are Democrats.
He mentions Nicki Minaj because she put out on X, what sensible, forward-thinking, cutting-edge leading nation is having a debate on whether or not there should be voter ID, like, question mark. They're actually fighting not to have people present ID while voting for your leaders. Do you get it? Do you get it now? Is this a winner for Republicans? Can they turn this into a winner?
As is typically the case, Nicki Minaj has got it right on the head.
She's leading on the political
right
front.
on the head. Voter ID, I've been working on this thing for longer than I can
Why do you
remember.
think I asked you?
It is a no-brainer. It's always been a no-brainer. It doesn't matter how you break down the constituencies. The American people have always been in favor of it.
You have to use an ID to get a beer. You have to get on a plane. You have to...
We built a society around it, as it turns out, and so it would only make sense if you had to vote with one, too. I think they ought to make these people vote on this as many times as they can, because there is no defense for not wanting voter ID at the polls. But it continues to be an issue over and over again. They ought to make this a dividing line. I don't know if it's in the context of this DHS bill. They got enough stuff to try to figure out with ICE and everything else in a short time period. But it really needs to be a central focus.
And they could get some Democrats, Kevin.
They certainly could get some Democrats. I point to my adopted home state of South Carolina that passed a bipartisan bill involving voter ID, extending early votes, some drop locations as well. Got the Congressional Black Caucus in Columbia, South Carolina on board. That can be a model. Democrats don't need to uniformly oppose this just to stand in opposition to the president.
All right.
Yes, and 71% of Democrats want voter ID. So why does the leadership not want it? That's a bigger question. And we'll answer that shortly. Right now, talking about percentages, here's the white, black, and Hispanic percentage on voter ID.
Take a look here. Favorite photo ID to vote. 85% of white people favor it. 82% of Latino. 76% of Black Americans favor it. So the bottom line is this. Voter ID is not controversial in this country. A photo ID to vote is not controversial in this country. It is not controversial by party, and it is not controversial by race. The vast
So yes, most people want voter ID, and why wouldn't you want it? Democrat leadership needs to wake up on this. They can lose a lot of voters on this, but why does the Democrat leadership not want it? So we'll look into that in a little bit. But right now we have CNN once again, and he's talking about the white, Latino, and black percentage on voter ID.
Take a look here. Favorite photo ID to vote. 85% of white people favor it. 82% of Latino. 76% of black Americans favor it. So the bottom line is this. Voter ID is not controversial in this country. A photo ID to vote is not controversial in this country. It is not controversial by party, and it is not controversial by race. The vast majority of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj that, in fact, you should have a photo ID to be able to vote.
So something of a non.
So we have to ask ourselves, why do the Dems not want this if their constituents do want it? And why are they so opposed to it? We'll look into that. President Trump has some great insight. He did actually pass an executive order to mandate voter ID back last year. And a Democrat liberal judge by the name of Colleen Kohler Cotelli, she overturned it permanently. And I don't know if permanently, for a judge to have that much power to overturn something permanently and not have it go up to the Supreme Court kind of makes you wonder. But that's why it's so important now to get this SAFE Act passed so we can have voter ID in the upcoming election. And I think that's why it's such a big push. But President Trump, he has a big insight on this. And let's go ahead and take a look at, see what he had to say.
I also signed an order to require proof of citizenship to vote in American elections. That was easy. And the Democrats fought me on that. Think of it. Why would they want no voter ID? Because they want to cheat. Why would they want to have no proof of citizenship? We don't want it. We trust everybody. No, they want to cheat. That's all they want to do.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can put together. However, we're not through with this fight, and this is what he had to say recently.
And we should have voter ID, by the way. We should have a lot of the things that I think everybody wants to see. Who would not want voter ID? Only somebody that wants to cheat. Think of it. We don't have voter ID. And the Democrats don't want it. And the reason they don't want it is because they want to cheat. Because there's no reason in the world, and I love that debate, Lindsay. I love saying, well, why don't you want voter ID? And you watch them say, I don't know, I just make them vote. No, no, it's a terrible thing. So anyway, anybody else?
Yeah, President Trump, God bless you. He's not through. And then right over here, we need every voter ID. Everybody wants it. Who doesn't want voter ID? Only people who want to cheat. And that is so true. And we got to have it. We got to have clean elections. Otherwise, we're going to be in a dictatorship. And it'll be like a third world country. Third world countries do that. They rig their elections and they get their people that want to have power to stay in power. They say that Trump's doing that. He's going to leave after his 4 years. I'm sorry. He's not a dictator. He's not doing that. Only the dictators, you can see it because 70% of Democrats want voter ID, but the leadership don't. Why is that? Because they want to hold on to power. And they need that. And Chuck Schumer says the quiet thing out loud. Let's see what he has to say.
Short of workers, we have a population that is not reproducing it on its own with the same level that it used to. The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here.
And that's fine. I agree with the path to citizenship. They should have a path to citizenship. But until you're a citizen, you should not be allowed to vote. That would be more incentive to become a citizen. And yet you have to be a citizen the legal way. We got to remember, it's a shame to have your first act, if you're coming to America, to have it as a legal act on a country that's built on laws, morals, and religious rights. To start something with that's illegal, like coming into the country illegally, and then to celebrate that, something's wrong with that. We need to celebrate the people that wanted to come over here legally, wanted to hold on to American values, and amen to that. I'm all for that. But they want the votes. They need the people in the census to get the chairs of enough Democrats in the census pool in different states in order to control the country, the House and the Senate. So we need this voter ID. And then we also do that vote for the SAVE Act is coming sometime this week. We believe that we do have the votes for it, which is good. So here's a little more about talking about the SAVE Act. And this is Laura Ingraham and Chip Roy of Texas. And let's see what he has to say.
Now, their argument here, the Democrats' argument, if there is really an argument, is that there really is no voter fraud, or it's extremely rare. So what you all are doing by requiring proof of citizenship to vote and getting people off the rolls, cleaning up the rolls, what you guys would require is just a way to make it more difficult to vote. And you say?
Well, Laura, great to be on the show. And look, the only threat to our elections, like all this, people that are in a tizzy about President Trump, the only threat to elections are the people who are here who will steal our elections by voting without voter ID. Like all of the fraud that we're seeing in Minneapolis, right? All of that fraud. That's just the tip of the iceberg of the kinds of things we're seeing across the country. If they can do that there with child care facilities, then what do you think they're doing with ballots? What do you think they're doing in the voting process? We know. They are engaging in this on purpose. There's a reason Democrats are all concerned about this. Why would they be concerned about ICE being near voting locations? Because they don't want enforcement of the law there. So enter the SAVE Act, which I introduced 2 years ago. Mike Lee introduced this in the Senate, which, as you know, ensures that you have voter identification, i.e. you have to prove your citizenship to register, and we'd clean up the rolls. Because right now, people don't understand. Arizona has 2 sets of systems for their voting because they're not allowed under federal law to require proof of citizenship and voter ID for federal elections. They're not allowed to do it. So they do it for their state elections, but not federal. I'm running for Attorney General. I want to be able to enforce the law in Texas. Current federal law doesn't allow us to do it. The SAVE Act would fix that. Now we've added true federal voter ID to that and have introduced the Save America Act. So we have SAVE, citizenship, voter ID equals Save America. We think we ought to move it through the House and to the Senate.
Now, there are...
Yes, sir. And we need that. God bless you, Chip Roy. And I'm praying that vote will go through. We need that more than ever in order to preserve our country. And it's actually preserving it for the Democrats, too. Fair and clean elections. That's the only way to do it. Otherwise, they're a world country. Here we come. And we don't want that. But I saw this, and I thought this was pretty awesome. Right here. So I'm going to put this on a $10 bill. It says, if we can put serial numbers on every bill, we can put one on every ballot. And that's so true. I mean, just think about it. If you had voter ID and a number on the ballot to where you can match the ID to the ballot and link them together, you got proof on every vote. And they can't manipulate it, can't escalate it, can't do more votes because you have a serial number that's matched to ID or even a social security number. That works too. So anyways, tell me your thoughts on this. Do we need voter ID? I pray that vote goes through this week, and leave your comments on the channel. Give me your opinion, because your opinion matters. And we'll see you next time here on Freedom Talk.
Turn it up loud. This is Freedom Talk.